Hey, thanks for coming by again to Tori Magoo 44. I really appreciate all your comments. They were fantastic. It was really funny because I pulled it up. Today's the 9th of July, 2018. I pulled up my YouTube site and it said 0 views. And I've never had 0 views. And I was talking to Mark Buck on the phone and I went, oh my God, there's 0 views on my YouTube site. And we both started going, wow, that's really weird. And so then just while I was talking to him, I thought, I'll turn it off, turn it on. And of course, then all these other views came up. There's over 1,000. It turned out really good. So thank you guys for watching and for passing it on. I really appreciate it. One of the fathers wrote me from Clearwater, and I'm not sure if maybe it was a mother. I think it was a nickname, but so it could be a mother or father. But they wrote me and said, that they had they were a little concerned about their daughter, which is a correct thing to be, because she's in Clearwater, Florida, and there's a lot of Scientology in Clearwater, Florida. So yeah, have her watch my videos and make sure you just get educated on what these guys really do. Look at both sides, because their side is everything's all great. That's why I call it The Truman Show. If you watch the movie The Truman Show, Truman was born into basically this world that everything's great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And that's kind of how Scientology is. Everything's just wonderful when you're inside of it. But very much a big part, another one of their traps, and a big part of their trap is us versus them. Like when you're in, as soon as you come in, you're part of us. Hey, you came to the right place. This is the right place to be. Absolutely. And the other thing they do to make sure that you know you're at the right place at the right time, the other thing they do is they have you do what's called that you have to buy it. It's called the PTS-SP course. PTS stands for Potential Trouble Source, and that's anyone that is connected to an SP, and an SP is a suppressive person. And in their world, a suppressive person is anyone who basically is antagonistic to L. Ron Hubbard, David Miscavige, the Church of Scientology, any of their front groups, anything they say, anything. Hubbard actually, when I got in it, it was Dianetics, Modern Science of Mental Health, right? It was a science. That's what I thought. I thought it was. I was 22. I believed him. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. And it couldn't be farther from a science. In science, scientists say, look at this side, look at that side, compare them, learn some more, learn about it, until you can actually see it and see that it actually works. Now, when you get into a cult, the tricky thing is they kind of get you in this us versus them right away. So all of those people that are asking you to look are them, and they're bad. That's a high crime. Don't even be thinking about it. Don't even possibly, there's no reason for you to talk to those people at all. Now, those people are me, people like me. And it's like, really? Most of us were in the church for 20, 30, 40 years. We created the Church of Scientology, right? And you have to ask yourself, if you have any brains at all, well, why would people that created something for 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, why would they leave? There must be something. Wouldn't you just a little bit kind of go, well, what is that? Why would they leave? What is it? There must be something. There must be something that is why these people left. And if you listen, now that because of the internet, you can go on to the internet and you can look, whether you're in Scientology, if you're in the Sea Org, if you're on staff, if you're public, if you're OT7, if you're OT8, it doesn't matter. You have free speech in the country of the United States of America, at least. Many other countries too, you can at this point, because the internet's international, and you can start learning, and you need to start learning, because they very much do the, whoa, come with us, it's us versus them, right? That's their big pitch, is that the world is coming to an end and they have the only solution. And it's like, really? But the vast majority of the people that built the church have left? Well, for me, even before I did this, Now I would be going, well, let me just at least look on the internet and see what those other people have to say. I mean, maybe they're really evil, horrible people. And I think most people watching this video, you could figure out if they're horrible, awful, creepy people. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. There's a great book called Blink I highly recommend for parents and for kids and anybody to read. It's just a fantastic book about your very first instincts and how they're right most of the time. But we tend to invalidate them or make them wrong. Nah, it can't be that. It must be good. It must be. They say it is, and look at everybody else. They're so happy. If you want to Google a real interesting thing to see lots of people that have done this for a long time, we made a video when I first escaped out called the OT panel. And look it up. It's really good. Sometimes it takes a little bit to find it, but it's out there because I just reposted it recently. And if I knew how to put it in the notes, I would, but I don't. And but you can Google it. Just look up the Scientology, the OT panel, and you'll see it. Excuse me, but it's like 4 of us: Greg Barnes, Deborah Barnes, myself, and Peter Alexander, all talking about doing Scientology is like a pyramid. And we all got up to the very, very top. Peter was OT8, we were on OT7, and we're all just talking about these shocking. Now, granted, some of the word and the lingo in it is a little weird because it was the first time we ever made a video. It's the first time we ever spoke to each other, ever, since we were in Scientology, honestly and truthfully. So if you really want to see people who are out and they're just spilled out of the church, that's how they sound. And it's almost like listening to a Martian, but in between it, you can hear the words, you can see us, you can feel how absolutely shocked we are and how different it was for each person. That was the shocking thing, because Scientology is really big on moving up my computer. Scientology is really big on their standard tech, and there's only standard tech. But, if you watch that video, it's like standard tech, hello? No, there isn't standard tech. And plus, David Miscavige now has changed it monumentally, which that's a whole nother video I'll tell you about. But the us versus them, and this is true for kind of any group you get into, if they're really making the them and us, if they're the only ones that are right and the them are the really bad people, get out. Just get out. Because there's something, and generally there's money behind it, right? It's like even these guys, you see them all the time on the seminar, on the internet. Come on, we've got a free thing that we want you to come to. We really do. It's free. You can come. I went to one. I went to one in Glendale last year with my friend. And we went, and we watched it, and we were like, this is pretty good. It was free. But of course, the end of it was buying their tapes. The end of it was buying more seminar, but it was like a 3-day seminar, and it was $1,000. And we had sworn to each other we were not going to spend a dime. But we did. We bought it. And then we canceled it within 24 hours because we got home and went, no, we swore we weren't going to do it. And we got out of it. And I'm not saying they're all bad. Maybe there's some of them that are, but it just seems to me when it starts out free, like I said, there's really nothing free. You just have to know that there's money connected with it. But when it's big money, which Scientology is big, big money. It starts out cheap, but it's big money. And if they can't tell you, well, what is OT3? What do they believe? Oh, you can, you'll be cause over life. That's what it is. Well, what exactly are you dealing with there? Well, that's confidential. Okay, as soon as it's confidential, you're on your way. If you have any smarts at all. Because why would it be confidential? If it was really good, if it was really honest, if it was really true, it wouldn't need to be confidential. It needs to be confidential for one simple reason. Money, baby. L. Ron Hubbard realized, now wait a minute. He made the first clear, and he said, clears have a perfect memory, a perfect IQ, no somatics, no pains. That was with the first book. He's changed that many, many times since, and it'll probably continue to change because they can't do that. But back then, he really thought he did, and he had the first big clear on stage, and they couldn't remember anything. So he turned around and he said, well, what's the color of my tie? And they couldn't remember. And I think, this is just my own personal thing, but I think L. Ron Hubbard realized, whoa, I am really in serious shape. You know, and I know he had a group of people following him because my ex-husband's parents were part of that from 1950 on. So he did have a big group of people that were following him and paying him and stuff like that. But he had to come up with stuff to keep it going. It's like a show, right? And he had to keep the show going. So he came up with the OT levels that are confidential. They're totally confidential. And you have to be very, 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 very set up for them. So the setup costs money. The OT levels cost money. They give you this big hope, but there's no exact anything. I don't think there's any OTs at all. I have yet to meet an operating fake. Now, I'm not saying they're not out there. There probably are some. I think I met one. I didn't meet one, but I met the wife of one that I would have considered an OT who was doing a liability formula, which is a very, very, very lower condition in Scientology. And we asked her, well, why are you doing this? And she said, well, my husband can heal people, which is sort of our dream at OT, you know, as an OT, you know, you're like, wow, you can heal people. And she said, yeah, he actually can, and doctors use him, and he can go from Germany, they lived in Germany, he can go into Brazil and into someone's body, find out what's wrong with them, fix it, and that's it. And we were all just sitting there stunned. It's like we'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to the point that her husband was at, that he could do that. And none of us could. Not one. None. And so it was like, and you're doing liability because? And she said, well, really, because he wasn't using Scientology, right? I mean, he's healing people, but it's not with Scientology, so that's not okay. And we're at the top of the bridge. We're supposed to be the most ethical people on the planet. Of course, they never thought we were. And now I'm sure they're all like, see, they're declared suppressive evil people. I warn you about them. But, you know, come on. You know, when you're spent years and years and years and nothing works, and someone walks in and says, yeah, my husband can do it, you know, for free. It's like, maybe, because we all had physical problems that weren't getting fixed with Scientology. And it was like, well, you think your husband would come check us? You know, it wouldn't work because she was trying to get out of the lower condition, so it didn't happen. But it was just kind of ironic that, you know, you have to keep your ears open and listen to what's being said. So if you get in a situation where it is an us versus them, my suggestion to you is just walk out. You can always just open the door and walk out. You have that right. The Sea Org guys, if you hear this, you have that right now, tonight. People have called me that are in the Sea Org and said, I'm out. What do I do? And I've helped them get out and get free. So don't feel like you have to stay. You don't. They'll make you feel like you have to stay, and it's not worth telling them you want to leave because they will make you so wrong, and it costs thousands of dollars to get out, basically. Just walk out the door. Pick out, you know, open the door. They'll be there, you know, kind of blocking the door, and you'll be like, pardon me, you want me to call the police, or would you like to just open the door? You're not allowed to call the police in Scientology. But if you wake up, you can say, I've done it. I told my ex-husband when I was on, he showed up in the Chicago airport saying, you know, we had to go on vacation, which I knew he didn't know what that meant, but I knew what that meant, which was they were going to lock me up in a cabin and I don't know what, probably kill me. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. And I finally said, if I have to call the police, I will. And I meant it. And, you know, that's somebody really woken up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm no longer playing under those rules. And you have to realize you have a right, if you're in the Church of Scientology, you have a right today, right now, this minute, to take back your freedom. You don't have to do anything. You can just open the door, walk out, call. Call me. Call anybody. My phone number's up there. Tori Christman, type it in Google, my phone number's, and I'll work out something to come get you. Honestly. It's like, don't just stay trapped in a cult. Don't. In any cult. I've had Jehovah's Witnesses contact me who've gotten out because they were watching my videos. Good job. You know, these controlling weirdo people, you don't need it. You really don't. So anyway, I noticed some people like Mr. Anonymous, so here he is. There he is. I just wanted to let you see him. He's such a cute little moose, isn't he? Anyway, there you go. I hope this helps, and thank you. And please pass it on, because I really want more people to subscribe, and I want more people to learn about this so less people get trapped into this. Okay, so if you can, please pass it on. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye-bye.